me do something real fast. Let me turn this off so I can make sure everything is on correctly. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we about to dive into some DMT experiences. These are some DMT experiences that I found. It's kind of crazy, right? Because when you go and you look for DMT experiences, I think the one thing that I like to look for the raw, uncut videos of people that are experiencing DMT that that never tried it before. That wasn't even into this thing. Like I don't like to go and I don't like to watch videos to where people have to put all this stuff on the video to try to make the video look a certain way, make it look good, and put all this aftermarket stuff on it. I just like, regular people just jumping in, giving a DMT experience. Look, this is what I seen, this is what happened. And that's what we're about to dive into right now. We're about to dive into some ordinary people that just, you know, took DMT and they dove in and and they gave their experience. And the first one I'm gonna show, like this is like when I was a long time ago, before I got into like taking DMT, like I seen videos of Mark Dreams and this guy right here. I never could find this guy or find his videos, but as I'm going through these experiences, I found it. I found one. And like from his videos, this is what made me want to start diving in. Him and Mark Dreams. Like it was, I watched more of Mark Dreams videos, but I seen like two of this guy videos. At the time I was watching Mark Dreams videos. And when I seen these videos, these are what made me want to go and explore this realm, explore this place. And with further ado, we just gonna jump into it. I'm not gonna wait for everybody to get here or none of that. We gonna just jump into it and jump into these experiences of just ordinary people that just decided to dive in on DMT and they're giving their experience. So let's just go. And I hope this is loud enough. I have to probably turn it up and down as we go because
Couple hours ago, I just did my
his was
first
pretty
trip
low.
on DMT. It was the most psychedelic thing I've ever seen, and I just want to share this experience with everyone.
That's as loud as I can turn it up. That's
Okay,
crazy.
so I'm just gonna tell you what happened from the beginning. We I did DM I did DMT twice today. The first time I did it, the first time I did it, I did it on my balcony in the afternoon. The first time I did it, I was the cloud. I remember right after the hit, I looked up on the outside, and then first thing you notice is the sky turned to a violet, purplish pink color that you see on some of the. It's almost like you put a filter on a regular image on Instagram. It's a purplish red filter, and then that's the first thing. And then the clouds. As soon as I look at all the clouds, the cloud formation just your it feels like your mind has taken every single piece of that cloud and then rearranged them in a order that makes sense. If
That was my experience at Joshua Tree off the mushrooms. Like, I'm looking at the clouds and the clouds start turning into those I keep forgetting what they call. They look like, I call them little piggies. But they started changing to this, but it was like the weirdest thing because when they made that change, bro, it's like it's like the world was just a reflection of my mind. Like, bro, I could see my life, other lives I lived. Like, I could see. It's like I was connected. Like I was connected to everything. And I had a deeper understanding of everything, what it was, why it was here. It was like I could just understand it. And it was like, bro, it was like but it was the most beautifulest thing. It was the most beautifulest thing. And all the clouds turned to these little things. And then they were like kind of everywhere, but they were giant. I'm talking about they was huge. Tardigrades. That's what they look like tardigrades. And like I could see like all of them like in the sky, like all the clouds turned to these tardigrades and like I said, with that happening, excuse me, with that happening, I like the world just became a reflection of my mind, and I just had a deeper understanding of life. It was like the weirdest thing. It was so beautiful though.
If it doesn't make sense right now, the, all the clouds are all the different shapes of cloud, different. They all start moving around, and then they came to this water, which is every single piece of cloud. It's same color. It's almost like it's almost like
Sorry,
you
this
have a
one is
bunch
so
of
low,
soldiers
y'all.
in a field, and then they were just chilling, hanging out, and then the instant you're on DMT, it's like snap. It's like getting line, and everybody just start getting line. It's, mm, it's the exact same thing with the trees. Like all the trees are just lining up. Yeah, and then when I close my eyes, the burst of colors, the, the colors, the things the things you think you see, you you think you saw something, but at the moment you look, you just changed something else.
Yeah.
That's the first time. That's the first time. And then, and then,
And that's wild because a lot of times, like the moment you try to grasp what you seeing and you try to understand it at times, that's what it do. Almost like how ideas like we'll form an idea in our mind, and then after that, another one will pop up, and you'll forget about the last one. Like that's almost how it feels to me.
after that, I'm like, I was seeing things, but I wasn't sure if I was seeing things. So after a couple minutes, I did another hit, and oh boy, this is the one. This is the one that took me to the other world. If there's a other world, I've been there, and it is real. It is a spiritual world, and I was there, and it was cold. It was the first thing I noticed. It was cold. There's no temperature in that world. There's no temperature in that world. I feel this 1,000 pound on my chest, just kind of pulling me back to the center of the universe, to the center of the earth. I feel like I was being called to I feel like I was going back, if you will. I feel like I was going back for the first time. I feel like I was sent to here along with everything else, that we're here just to do something, and then eventually we'll go back to that world. Man, at the second time I took a hit, it was it was first thing I noticed, it was this, just all my vision was gone for
Man.
the split second. I see this red, just out. My eyes are wide open, and then I couldn't see anything but this white, the red kind of. Later I looked up. It's actually the red tunnel. That what I saw was a red tunnel. It was a red and orange tunnel before all the crazy shit started happening.
Dang.
And then
You said I know the volume on this is like on this one is way too low. Okay, I'm gonna just go to the next one because I'm gonna figure out how to turn that one up. I'm gonna just go to the next one because that volume is low, low, low. Let me see. Let me see. This girl right here.
I took my friend had done
Look,
DMT
it's
and there
loud.
was
It's
some left,
now it's
and
too
I smoked what
loud,
was left
huh?
of his. It was probably about 3 or 4 hits. But let me tell you, by the second hit, I was definitely feeling something. I felt like my energy, and I could almost see it leave my body. And when I was about third hit in, fourth hit in, I set down the bowl and I heard a lot of ringing in my ears. And it wasn't overwhelming, just very calm, very relaxing. And I was able to just kind of drift off. And it was very bright outside. And so I could tell I was going somewhere, but it was
All right,
too
thanks
bright
for
to see,
saying
so I just
something.
kind of took my arm and covered my eyes and let what unfold happen. And what I saw was pretty incredible. I was in a room full of totem poles, and I was like a bird's eye view from a corner, and I could see what I believed to have been a shaman smoking, and we didn't really interact. I just kind of watched him. And before I knew it, I was transported into a room and it was completely dark. And I look up and I just see this bright light, and it was really beautiful. And I wanted to, go towards this light, but before I could, I was out of my trip. So that minute went by very quickly. And
Man.
I think the message was from the shaman, even though we didn't really talk, I think he wanted me to keep smoking. I think that's why he was smoking. He's like, light up, keep going.
Hey, that's wild. Cause when every time like the Joshua Tree, they were some of the dopest experiences. And when I took the mushrooms and the ayahuasca at the same time, I was the shaman, bro. It was like I was like so many different. It blew my mind because like I'm looking at Mother Ayahuasca and I'm like going, it's like almost like first I'm looking at a mirror. I'm looking in the mirror. On the other side of the mirror, Mother Ayahuasca appears, and I'm like looking at Mother Ayahuasca, and it's like, dang, like it's this reflection thing again. Like Mother Ayahuasca is like the reflection of me, and I'm going like, no, 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 and she like, yeah, like this is what it's always been, and I'm like, nah, it's impossible. Like how? And that's when she starts showing me over time, like these past lives, I was these shaman, bro. I was like so many different shaman, like life after life of me being this shaman, making this ayahuasca, giving people like I got cups like this, pouring the ayahuasca in their mouth, giving them the ayahuasca, sending them on the journey, introducing them to their self, which was me, which was them, which was all of us. It was like the wildest thing, bro. This shit, DMT is crazy.
Because if I'd have kept smoking DMT, I would have gone a lot farther. But it was a really amazing experience, and the after effects have been pretty interesting. Ever since I've smoked it, I have felt extremely calm and really just serene and at peace, and just felt like I really have a grip on my reality. And I'm gonna, after my tolerance goes down from everything I did, I'm gonna actually do a full dose next time, and hopefully, I'll get to talk to this shaman or this light or whatever was on the
And
other side trying to talk to me, and see what happens. So yeah, it
oh, you
was
welcome, D.
it was definitely worth it. It was a very wonderful experience. So I guess, to anyone who is looking to, go to the next level, some people say DMT can allow you to talk to aliens. So if you're into that,
Yeah, you welcome, man.
talk to some extra dimensional beings, then definitely, do your research. But
Hey, that's for me doing this over and over again, and then having these experiences all over, because I almost like her, like I did that like so many times where I smoked DMT, and then I'll run into like Kali, the god Kali or somebody like that, and I'll have like one time I was in third person and I seen Kali with all the arms sitting on like a little pillow with her legs crossed, and then I was in front of Kali and like I was talking to her, like we was having the conversation going back and forth, and I'm in third person looking from over here. And I'm like, in my mind, though, I'm going, what is they talking about? And I came back, I didn't have no recollection of the conversation we had. So it was like, over time, like every time I went in, I tried to remake that happen again. What's up with it, Christos? I tried to make that happen again in order so I could see that conversation. And I never could find it. I never could find it. It was trippy, though, bro. It was trippy. But let's go to this guy. DMT trip into the hyper spiritual elf land. Oh my God! I didn't watch none
I
of
first
these.
tried smoking DMT, dimethyltryptamine, in 1983 when I was 21 years old.
Golly,
I was at
man,
the home of a friend's house who
83.
introduced me to it, and he scraped together a collection of these loose
Dang.
orange, red crystals from the bottom of a kitchen drawer, actually, and
Oh
carefully
wow.
placed them at the bottom of a huge glass pipe in his living room, where I sat down on a couch and watched him
David
fire
J.
fire up
Brown.
this bowl from the bottom with this strong, it looked like a blowtorch almost that he was using. So he was vaporizing the DMT crystals, and I was inhaling them, and I took three deep lungfuls of this powerful plastic tasting substance. It really
That
tasted
do be
awful.
nasty.
Horrible in my lungs, like molten glass scorching the inside of my chest. And but within seconds of the first lungful of this DMT,
Red
I felt like
DMT,
I
huh?
was
That scrape-
peaking higher than the highest LSD.
Hey, but he said it was scraped from the bottom of a drawer. It's like, wait, hold on, wait, how did he even? It probably had little pieces of wood in it and some more stuff.
Peaking higher than the highest LSD trip that I've ever
Wow.
been on, and absolutely
Peaking higher than the
insane,
LSD, huh?
kaleidoscopic patterns that were unfolding before me and were an order of magnitude more intense than anything I had previously witnessed on LSD, mescaline, or psilocybin. And somehow I managed to inhale 2 more lungfuls of this
Oh my goodness!
god awful tasting vapor, and a few seconds
What's up,
later
I
I
can
found
build it?
myself in a completely
What'd it do?
different, higher ordered dimension.
Hey, that is why. Like, have you ever did that? Like, you take all these hits. I don't know, for some reason, the DMT at times, if you pay attention and you listen as you're smoking the DMT, it'll tell you how many hits you need to take. Because they always say 3 hits, but sometimes I done got the 5 hits, and the DMT will be like, just 2 more. And I'll do it. I'll do the 2 more, like, because I'll get to the 3rd, and then I'll put the pipe down. I'll get to the 5th hit, and I'll put the pipe down, and everything will kind of start changing, and then I'll just hear a little voice go, take 2 more. That's all you need. What's up with it, Hugo? And I'll take those 2 more, and boom, be gone. Hyperspace all the way.
Complex beyond anything I can adequately describe in the human language. So it was just impossible for me to gain my orientation during the experience, and I witnessed the most incredible things imaginable. This was definitely not a human world that I was in. It was populated by other intelligent creatures, and I was able to see an ever-morphing environment, their world in 360 degrees, and so much was going on around me. I watched in spellbound fascination as legions of small, elf-like beings were diving in and out of this strange biological mechanism of some sort, and it was giving them some kind of enormous pleasure, it looked like.
Hey, that's it. And you be seeing so much, bro. It be blowing your mind because for one, you can't fathom it. For 2, you can't explain it because the words you're going to put on it is not even going to be it. It's going to be something so minor to what you were seeing because you're seeing so much at one time. You're seeing all these different shapes. And then the things they're morphing into each other, turning into something else. And then you see this whole visual of this city or whatever that'll just, it'll morph and then it'll turn into something else. And you see these little elves running around. Like I remember, when I was in it seems like the Santa's workshop or something, bro. It was like mind blowing. But when you're there, it looked like some computer generated type shit. And it was like a conveyor belt going, and it was these little elf-like looking creature things, you feel me, that was doing something on the belt, putting something on there or something. And it was like a conveyor belt going. And as you're watching it, bro, it just reminds you of life. Like, it's like almost like you're seeing the actuality of life. Not this thing that we're making right here. You're seeing the actual like making of life in this elf-like world, whatever I call it Santa's workshop. Other people call it the conveyor belt. They call it all these different things, but I'm like, that shit look like really like Santa's workshop or some shit. It's like almost this where Santa's workshop came from. But in the interim, as you seeing it, you can see life. You can see the making of life. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's like almost like life is overlaid on that, or I don't know, bro, how to explain that shit. That shit is trippy. It's trippy. This should be bringing back memories. Where can I get them music tracks you did? Oh, I don't, man. Oh, I ain't, what's the name? I ain't never put the music out that I made a long time ago.
Years later, I realized that what they were actually doing was they were diving inside of a human body and experiencing a whole lifetime. And this was like an amusement park ride from the perspective of hyperspace. So, in any case, it just seemed like a brief moment for them to go through like an entire human lifetime. And suddenly I found myself in the grip of this intelligent being that was...
I gotta go back because I gotta play the whole thing, because that is trippy, bro. Because that is trippy. And this is what I always said. I said, from us living in this life, thinking that this life is something, the other entity that we actually are, this is nothing but a blink of an eye. That's how come people always go, well, this is a trap and it's trapping us. And no, bro, we're interdimensional beings. That's what we are. This is what we do. And we come in and out of this space. This is not the only space that we travel to. This is just one of the dimensions that we come in and we do whatever we do. And then we're back there. Like when you're infinite, this is nothing. Like 1,000 years. Even 1,000 years is nothing to 60 to 100 years. It's no comparison. It's not even close. It's almost like it's faster than the snap of a finger. It's almost like the DMT trip. Like we say, it's only 15 minutes, but when you're there, it seems like it's forever. But it's like, boom. You feel me? Then it seemed like it's over. And like these interdimensional beings that we are, as we come into this life is nothing. This life is just a play. We come in, we do our thing, and then we go right back out. And we be in the other place that we always been in. But while we're here, we start to become and act like we're this person that we are in this body. We start to begin to act like we this body, bro. This shit is crazy. But I'm going to play it from the beginning. I'm going to pull, not from the beginning, but when he first started, and I ain't going to talk over it.
It was definitely not a human world that I was in. It was populated by other intelligent creatures, and I was able to see an ever-morphing environment, their world in 360 degrees, and so much was going on around me. I watched in spellbound fascination as legions of small elf-like beings were diving in and out of this strange biological mechanism of some sort, and that was giving them some kind of enormous pleasure, it looked like. Years later, I realized that what they were actually doing was they were diving inside of a human body and experiencing a whole lifetime. And this was like an amusement park ride from the perspective of hyperspace. So, in any case, it just seemed like a brief moment for them to go through like an entire human lifetime. And suddenly I found myself in the grip of this intelligent being that was doing something to me that I just didn't understand. I kept trying to interpret what the being was and what was happening to me, and I felt utterly helpless. I was projecting every possible interpretation, millions of interpretations per second onto this being, and nothing would fit. Nothing seemed to make sense. I alternated between states of ecstatic pleasure and absolute terror as I wondered.
Bro, I love the way he explained this shit, because that's what it be. It be like pleasure, but then it be terrifying at the same time. But it be beautiful, and then it be ugly at the same time. It's like every feeling that you can think of times infinity going on at the same time, and you don't know which one to really grasp, because you're like trying to figure it out. Like, what are they doing? What is this? And they just doing all this stuff. Like when I seen the gesture, and the gesture was like way back there, and like, it was standing, it was like kind of looking around, then it looked at me, and it's like, wait, hold on, what are you doing here? And it went like this, and then it started running up to me, but it was weird and funny, because the way it was running was like a penguin. Like it was running like a penguin, hella fast like this. And when it get up to me, it'll just open its mouth, and then it'll swallow me. I didn't even know, like, like for days later, as I went over the experience in my head over and over again, that the thing was actually swallowing me, but it was so fucking scary that I couldn't do nothing but keep going, oh, like, because his teeth were like snake fangs almost. That's how his teeth was. And when he went over, his mouth went over my head like this, bro, his teeth would like kind of spread to where you can see his gums. You can see his gums, and you know, like they were like wet, and it was like, bro, it was like the real, like, bro, it was like the realest thing, like how they say realer than here. It was like realer than here, and it did it over and over again. It's like soon as it go over my head and I go into pitch blackness, I see him standing back there again, and I'm looking at him, and then he'll do the same thing again. He'll run up real fast, and then he'll get all the way up and he'll swallow me. And then it'll go to pitch blackness. I'm talking about like 1,000 times. 1,000 times. And it just kept going. And the only thing I could do was go, ah. And then like I'll forget blackness. And it'll be back to looking like this and pitch blackness. And then him back there, and he'll do it again. I'll go, ah. And then back to blackness once I enter into his throat or whatever, and then it'll do it again. And I'm talking about like so many different times, bro. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was scared as shit.
Onto this being, and nothing would fit. Nothing seemed to make sense. I alternated between states of ecstatic pleasure and absolute terror as I wondered,
later,
you know, is this being a scientist experimenting with me? Is he good? Is he bad? Is it a he or a she? Is it someone that I already knew somehow? Is he a friend, a lover, a parent, an angel, a demon? I mean, was this an extraterrestrial? Was it God communicating with me?
And that's the craziest thing, bro, because you'll ask every question. You'll ask every question, and they go by so fast. But you'll ask every question that you can think of. And I think this is why we be having to like try to silence our minds and mainly try to become the experience instead of trying to explain it. Because it's like once you start explaining it, your mind, your ideas gonna go crazy. They gonna go crazy trying to explain this thing. It's not gonna be able to do it. You say, bro, get the clean line up.
Experimenting with me? I mean, what was going on? In some weird way, it seemed that this being was a giant version of myself, actually. Like it was like a gigantically huge and all-powerful David J. Brown that was like measuring and adjusting reactions in my brain with extreme precision as he administered a vast series of like intensifying stimuli that seemed to be activating all of my senses at once to their maximum threshold. Energies just poured into me, and it was beyond my capacity to handle as this being just adjusted the range of screaming sensations, twisting for what seemed like different colored light filters over me, asking me repeatedly with each click and each change, like this, like this,
like this,
like this. Then he was trying to determine what the intensity of the sensations were, and it was becoming too much for me. And in one brain area or perceptual range after another, while I was desperately trying to understand what in the world was happening. So this towering being just seemed to be measuring and adjusting different threshold frequencies in my brain, and for experiencing pleasure and pain. And I vividly remember how these strong, sweet, and bitter, sometimes metallic taste sensations, strangely and synesthetically blended with continuously transforming extra-dimensional and extraterrestrial visual imagery as I pleaded with the being to please stop.
Too silent, huh?
I learned from the person that I was doing with that I actually said these words aloud. It was simply too much for my poor brain to handle. And much
you just be wanting it to be over. When it get real intense like that, you just cannot wait for it to be over for some reason. Cause it's like I said, it's beauty on a threshold that the mind can't take. It's too much beauty. It's too much scariness. It's too ugly. Like like this is the thing that got me too, is like when you dive in, when you smoke DMT or when you take mushrooms and you become one with everything, bro, and you become one with everything, bro. It's the scariest thing, because you see all of this thing just being you. And it's almost seems like nothing else exists but you. So you created all this right here, and you created these people, and you created that person, and you made that person. Like, to a certain extent, if you really think about it, that's what it is. You're the only one existing within your own mind. Within your mind. That's why you created your mom. You created your dad. You created your best friend. You created your wife, your girlfriend. You created all these different things in order so you wouldn't be lonely in that place right here. In this place where you're existing by yourself right here. You start to create and put all these things together, and you start to make them a part of this thing that's in here, bro. But it's like, it's a beautiful thing, because when you look at everybody doing it, like, you begin to get it and understand it, like, oh shit, everybody is alone within their mind. Within your mind, you're the only one in there. That's why you start to make all these different things, and you put them in there in order to put them with yourself and save them in there with yourself, because because in your mind, it's just you. Nobody else really exists within there. Everybody else is just made up. They're just figments of your own imagination that you made up, that you created. You created that homeless dude right there and said that he was homeless. Even if that dude was there before, you still made him as you walked past him. As you decided to deal with the bank teller, you created the bank. It's like weird to, even say it, because, you will have to be in the experience in order to really see it and go, oh shit, okay. Every this one mind taking itself, fractals of itself, that these little fractals become their own individual within the one mind frame of thinking of everything. And then this one thing, like, you become this, and then you get to create all these other things. You get to make your best friends. You get to make your teachers. You get to make all the ones that you feel like that are teaching you get some good. You get to make the bad people and create the bad people and say who is bad and who is good. It's like, bro, it's like the craziest thing. I hope I explained that right, bro. I hope y'all got that.
What happened that afternoon, I have to say, it's impossible to remember.
You make them, huh?
I started to become back to earth, and
no, you make them,
I don't
because
know, it took me a
okay, the reason I say that, okay, let's say me, right? Like me, let's say I created me. Like, over time, I took bits and pieces out this reality and I made me. The me that I see myself as is not the same me that you look at me as. The me that you look at me as is a totally different entity. Totally. Every person that you're close to, that you did not, that person, you made that person into what you thought they were, and that wasn't them. They're so much more than that. But that little aspect of them, because you got to understand, you don't be with people all day, every day. Me, you see me when I come and do a live, and I come and I talk on the live. So the person that you made me out to be is not me. That's your perception of me. So we walk around creating these perceptions of people, and like Donald Trump and like this person. We don't even know these people. But I still can make my own perception of this person and say, to me, this is who this person is. And once I say that, to me, that's who that person gonna be. But in reality, that's not who that person is. That's my perception of that person. Like, you get what I'm saying? You say, what I got to do with it? You are eating yourself with snake face.
maybe forever. Just
exactly.
That I was a human being who had smoked a drug.
That's a good
one. It
one.
felt like an eternity. I mean, it was only around 10 minutes that had actually gone by, and I was back in my body. And it wasn't long before I was asking my companion how long it had been, and and wow, I was watching the vividly colorful tapestry,
Still
with
going
patterns
on
fluidly
afterwards.
unfold, morph, and merge, ultimately solidifying into the walls and the furniture of my friend's apartment. And for around 10 minutes more, I felt like I was being shown secrets of how everything in our reality was being constructed behind the scenes, so to speak, much like a high dose of magic mushrooms. And and I was back to baseline in 30 minutes, and still to this day, that was the most powerful and mystifying psychedelic experience that I've ever had in my life.
Hey, that's crazy because when you think about it, like a lot of us diving in on psychedelics, diving in on psychedelics, and then having these experiences, and we'll one person like him, like he had his experience, and that one experience he can remember his experience from 1988, bro, and it's still stuck with him. It changed who he was, how he looked at life, and all these different things. And that same experience he can remember real vividly right today. And then you have us who take 100 experiences, have hundreds, like I done had so many experiences I don't even count them no more. Like I stopped counting a long time ago, because once I stopped counting, I started to see that all of them were just one experience. It was like the weirdest thing, because once I got into one experience to where I seen my first experience, and my first DMT experience was every DMT experience I ever had in one trip, and I didn't notice it. And then all the other ones were the same experience, just slowed down to where I could capture and I could see it. And like that was like the trippiest thing. So it's like it was just me replaying what I already seen. It was like the wildest thing, bro. And I started noticing that like later on, and then after I started diving in, and that even made me want to dive in more, because then once I dive in and I get to a point and I see it, and I'm like going, okay, I slowed down. Like I used to, when you see the lines, you know how like when you on mushrooms and you see the lines like almost like this right here, and they just be like fractaling and like moving and kind of changing like weird mandalas or something. And then I go in again, and then I'm seeing the lines, and it zoomed me out. And when I zoom out, the lines were nothing but the back of this giant serpent. And then when I see the giant serpent and I zoom out on the giant serpent was connected to this other thing. You feel me? But it was one thing that the guy was saying about the gestures, or the machine elves, or whatever he was seeing, and how they were going in and out the body, and they were getting fascinated off some of the things that they were doing within people's bodies and all this. Like when I seen that on the giant worm, remember I seen this worm-like creature, bro. Like you couldn't see all the way to the right, and you couldn't see all the way to the left. It went so far. You can just see that it stretched far as the eye can see, and I couldn't see both ends of it. But on the stomach of it, it was TVs, bro. It was like TVs all the way down, bro, all the way down, and each TV was playing the life of a person. So it was like James Brown, Michael Jackson, like all the people that lived before us that we didn't know. I'm watching all these people lives play out on these TVs, and I'm like what the fuck? I'm looking at this shit, and this giant worm got these tentacles that's going to each TV, and the tentacles is like pumping like this, right? Like as if they're pumping stuff in and pumping stuff out. But later on, I had another experience, and I was able to see the end of that creature. That's when I said it looked like almost like you were looking at a like Timon and Pumbaa, the fucking, I don't know, the warthog, or like a hippo. Like it was almost like you was looking at a hippo from the top down. Like that's the visual that this creature had, even though it wasn't that. It was like a giant like worm type creature, bro, but it was getting pleasure from everything that the person was going through in life. It didn't matter whether it was something bad or something good. It didn't matter. That thing, that creature was getting this pleasure from it. So because it's almost like that creature was like helping make different, you know, scenarios happen or some shit. That shit was hella crazy. But that's when I could understand that life was happening all at one time. Like, so when we think that, you know, the people before us, when we think that they don't live no more, they're not here no more, I don't look at it like that no more. I look at it like everybody is still living. Everything is still alive. Even though their body passed away or whatever, their life is still living on the side of yours. That's why, like, everything is happening at that one time. Like, we chop it up and we go life and death and whoop-de-whoop, but no, it's all their lives are living on the side of ours. So it's like almost like this thing can see that. Whatever the thing is that is making this, creating this, or doing this thing, it could see that. It can see that all that's how it sees it. It doesn't, it sees let's say King Tut. It sees King Tut's life happening the same time as mine. It don't look at it like, oh, King Tut lived in the past and he died thousands and thousands of years ago and he's not here. No, it sees everybody life at one time, living side by side, going side by side. And it's like, it was like the weirdest thing, bro. But let me switch this so I got to move this over here and move that over there so I could be able to see the chat a little more better than having it on this smaller screen. I got to put it on the big screen. Let's see, what did you say? He said, dude, look into the DMT laser. It's on Danny Jones, the guy had manifest physical. Yeah, I seen that. I seen the DMT laser experience where they was looking into the laser like that. That was like, I was saying something about that so long ago, bro. And it wasn't even a laser when I had did it. Like, it was just the sun rays. Bro, you can see that in the sun rays. If you go smoke DMT when the sun is out and you look at the sun will start to get bright red. It'll like how this is right back here, like how it's like kind of like a reddish color right here, but then how it gets real bright when it gets to the light. It'll get bright red like that to where you'll be able to see all these hieroglyphs and different markings and writings, these ancient writings and everything. And once you open your eyes, you'll see them in the sun rays. Bro, I was able to see it in the sun rays. As the sun rays, the light was coming down, hitting everything. I'm looking at the light, and the light is sending information down. It was like information coming down to everything. It was to everything that the light was touching. It was giving some type of information, but the information was like in hieroglyphs and like ancient writings and stuff like that, bro. I was like, whoa, it was like the wildest thing. But like the laser experience, I was telling myself I was going to try that later, but it's so many different ways I can talk about to where I seen that, bro. He said it looked like Egyptian. Yeah, that's what it, I'm telling you, bro, you can see that same thing without, because they use the little laser and you can see it in there, bro. You can go do the same thing with the sunlight, which is wild. You can do the same thing with the sunlight and get that same experience and be able to see, but you'll get a bigger version of it because the sun is shining light everywhere. You'll get the full version of it, bro. I'm telling you, it'll blow your mind. Like one time, like the 4 ACO, bro, I did 4 ACO and I went out and I could see all the air. Like from the glare of the sun, I could see all the air, that the air was like alive, like how they call the air prana. It's like the air was alive, bro. And then I could see like these two entities up there, right, that were like doing certain things, showing me certain things and making like UFOs and shit, right? But it was weird because up there, it was like almost like it was like, say, the dome, and then within the dome, it was like, it went like something like this. And like it was like a little crack or like a little hole, like almost like a drain. And like you could just see all the shit pouring in like that. The air, like the literal air, bro, pouring in through this hole, bro, spreading to everything. And it was like, you could see all the little Egyptian writings and everything, bro, just floating around everywhere. Everywhere. That shit is wild. Yo, True, look up the DMT laser experiment. Yeah, I did that. We did that not too long ago. Where dude and them had the little laser. I was just talking about that. We was talking about that a while ago. And I was saying, though, you can do the same experiment with the sun if you ain't got a laser. You can go out in the sun with the DMT and smoke DMT, and you're going to see that same thing, but you're going to see it on a bigger scale. And you're going to see all these different writings and stuff, almost like as if reality is made by all these numbers and shit. It's like fucking like Neo in the Matrix or something. That shit is wild as shit, bro. Oh, yeah, I seen it, though, Stan. Yeah, I seen it a while back. Like, that's what he was just talking about the DMT and the laser thing. It's like, that's something that I said a long time ago about the sun, but I'm just saying you can do it with a laser. It's like what he was showing. But I guarantee you, if you go smoke DMT outside with the sun, you can see the same thing, but you'll see it on a grander scale. It'll be over everything the light the sun is shining on, you'll see it through the sun rays, bro. It's like the most beautifulest thing, but it's like it's trippy at the same time because you can't make sense of it, but you can't at the same time. He could see through walls we made up numbers. Yeah. I'm telling you, bro. Try it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Because I wanted to try the laser thing. Once he talked about it, but I'm going to go find that video and I'm going to repost it, the one where I seen the sun, and so you can see what I was seeing through just the sun. And it's like almost like with the sun, like almost like it was sending information to everything. It was like the wildest thing. When I did acid, I saw the grid of energy that connects everything together. It looks like a sheet of graph paper, and you can literally see the energy moving in all directions, bro. That shit is crazy. It's wild. It's wild. But whenever I see them gridded lines, bro, for me, like I said, sometimes they change. They'll change and they'll get the moving and they'll get the morphing. The lines will get the morphing into different things, and I don't know, it'd be like weird as shit. Zoomed out and it was like the back of the snake. And like I'm looking at the scales on the snake, and like, and it's like different things going on in between, bro. This shit is fascinating. But let's get into Vizier, M. Vizier. We're gonna get into his experience and see what he's talking about. This is his first DMT experience, which I like to see.
Alright, what's up, guys? So,
what's up?
Today I'm just going to talk about my first DMT experience, and for those of y'all that don't know what it is, I've already done acid.
Well, I need to skip, I think.
So anyways, my friend who makes it, so he had some. I was actually a drug dealer at this.
Oh, we don't want to hear all that.
So I felt comfortable with the people I was at. I liked being at his house. Bong.
Right there.
Light the
Hooker you ever had.
Top and put it in between the
entity
weed.
show up. Yeah, many times, bro.
And I hit it. I took it
many times.
I hit it.
But
I didn't take it all in at first.
I remember when I first seen entity. I seen them on the DMT, but then people pushed me into taking mushrooms. They started telling me about mushrooms. And once they told me about mushrooms, I'm like going, dang, okay, you saying I can take mushrooms and I can be in that space for longer? So that's what made me start taking mushrooms. And remember that, I got y'all, if you new here, you probably haven't seen my psychedelic experiences. I had so many of them that I don't dive in like I used to. I had so many. And that was one of my first ones, taking mushrooms. I took I forgot which kind, but the Golden Teachers. I took the Golden Teachers, and the two entities were standing there, and I couldn't read none of the chat. I was live on YouTube. I did it live on YouTube. I couldn't read none of the chat. All I could read was emojis, and it was crazy because the lady entity that was standing next to me was letting me know, telling me the emojis weren't nothing but hieroglyphs. That's it. That's it. Like how the Egyptians used to write in hieroglyphs, that's what the emojis was. And when people were typing all the different emojis, I was reading them like I could understand. It's like almost like as they're typing the emojis, I can see that person's life. Like literally, I'm reading into that person's life and I'm seeing it. And as I'm doing it, the lady is standing there. The lady entity is going, okay, see, you got it. You doing it. Just keep going. Just keep going. You doing it. You getting it. You starting to understand. And she's telling me to do this thing and I'm doing it. And then it was a male entity that was there that was more like, come on, let's go. Like why we wasting our time with this guy? Like type shit. He was like, on like some let's hurry up and get out of here type shit, but she just stood there and was just like coaching me on reading these damn what's name, bro. It was crazy as shit. It was dope though. But let me finish his experience.
So I held in that first hit for not very long. I actually found out you're supposed to hold it a lot longer, but I don't think it really messed me up. My trip just would have been even crazier probably. But so I finished it, I hit the rest, and as I'm finishing the second, I remember looking at his window, and the window starts turning into like a mosaic, or like one of those pictures you see at like a church with the different colored like glass. That's kind of what it looked like. Cool. But what it was is, I know it was just the last image I saw in my head. You know how sometimes when you like close your eyes, you think you can still like kind of see what you were seeing? I think it was that, and my mind was just so able to like be aware that it saw it. But anyways, that was only like the first 30 seconds. Like legit, you hit it for 30 seconds and you start seeing that kind of stuff. And so after that, it kind of transitioned into like, I felt almost as if I was at two places at once. Like it was like I was surrounded by this infinite love. Like if there was a God and they say the God of love, like I feel like that's honestly what I came in contact with. But basically what that thing was telling me was I was being told like stop seeking. Like I'd been seeking my whole life, seeking for answers, and it was like stop seeking. It was like you're already here.
Exact, bro. It's wild how we have these experiences, and some of the experiences be giving us the same information, because that was like one of the things that I was told. And like once I stopped, like, you know, because I used to dive in because I was always looking for something, but I can't really say what I was looking for because I don't know what I was looking for, but I was looking for something. And soon as I stopped looking, that's when I started seeing. That's when I was able to better understand, because I stopped looking for the things I was always told to look for. It was like the most beautifulest thing. It was like the whole psychedelic experience just opened itself up to me. And was like, you know, the lady came out dancing on the DMT and she went like this. She was like, she came out dancing, and you feel me? And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like looking, and it was these giant wooden doors, like behind her. They was like huge, bro. And she went like this. She said, okay, now you welcome. And she did her hands like this, and the doors open. And I didn't go inside because I was scared. That's when I was scared, smoking DMT. I didn't go inside, but the feeling that she gave me was like, it was like the most loving feeling. Like it was like dummy beautiful, to the point to where I couldn't do nothing but cry. Like, I don't know why. I was like real emotional, and I was just crying because it was like the most beautiful feeling. It was almost like when you first was born and your mom held you for the first time, when they gave you to your mom and she held you for the first time and seen your face and said, wow, you feel me? And your dad standing there and seeing it was like that love, that beginning love before you became the asshole that you are now. It was that love right there, that baby love that you get from your mom when she first see you, bro. It was like, what the heck, bro? That shit felt so beautiful.
You know, you're already this. Like, this is already you. It's always been in you.
Oh, thanks.
You've been here before, so I was told, like, I've been there before. That I would go there, basically, when I died. That same, like, state, that same level, plane, whatever.
Yeah.
And it just told me, like, I am God. Like, this is crazy, so don't take any of this, like, for a fact, because it is a drug. But it told me that I'm God, and what it meant, it showed me like I'm God in the sense of like everything is God. God is everything. God's not a single being. I don't think so as much. Maybe like an energy source, like you know, the source of all love and all good comes from the same thing.
Hey, this and like this is the beauty of psychedelics, right? Because like him, like not going in and like you know he's going in because he's curious. He's not going in just like looking for something. Going okay, I want this to happen in my life. He's good, just going in, and then it shows him this. Everything is God. It don't matter what you think it is. Everything is God. Everything is a part of God. This life is God. Period. Like you can't like how come you think it's so easy to worship anything in life? How come you think it's so easy to become fascinated and be able to dive into whatever of life? How you think it's easy to become a whale watcher, a person that follows insects, to be a person that's in love with another person? Because everything is God. It's nothing outside. It can't be outside of God. It's all happening within God. And once you like, you'll get to that point. When you stop actually looking, you'll get to that point and you'll become one with everything, and you'll be able to grasp it and go, oh shit, oh snap, okay. I still don't accept it though, because that's what you still gonna say it is. You gonna be like me, like, yeah, I see it, but I don't really want to accept it. Wow, what changed from a couple of years back when I first came across your channel. Well done, man. You welcome, man. So I jumped up. It was in a weird way. He said, okay, is that the blue lady? Because when I saw her, she put her hand out, but I felt like I was looking myself when I touched her. Oh my God, bro. The blue lady. The blue lady. Because remember the first time I seen her, like it's almost like like every experience, like I seen her on mushrooms, I seen her on DMT, bro, I seen her on ayahuasca, but it was one time when she touched my forehead. Remember, I was in the front, and I smoked the DMT, and I'm sitting there, right? This was back when I was like scared to dive in, but I was still going because I still had that curious mind. And I'm sitting on the chair, and I'm listening to all the cars go by. I got my eyes closed. I'm listening to all the cars come by. And she came out, and she was like doing this little swaying move. And she came out, and she walked up to me, and she put her head on my forehead like that. And I went back, and when she did that, bro, it was crazy, because it was like from there on, it was like almost like this, it like water, or I don't know what it was. It began to cover my whole body. It like started from this part, and it started to cover my whole body. Like it was like a warm feeling, but it felt good as hell. Like it felt like hella totally awesome. And then as it began, like as it got to the last part that it was starting to cover, I started hearing the cars disappear. Like it was like the cars were getting lower and lower and lower and lower. And when it got about like that, I jumped up. I got spooked. I jumped up and was like, no, I was scared to go back then. I was scared to go, bro. I jumped up like, no, I don't want to. Like I was scared. I was scared. No matter how good it felt, I was still like, I was spooked, bro. And I just jumped out of the experience, and I didn't let it happen.
Not really sure, but it was basically just saying like, I'm God. So that means like your mind's this thing that's like a processor, and it just keeps like going and going, and you're thinking, always looking for something. But it was just saying like, stop looking, you know, like you are it already. You are it already. And so then I was there for a minute, experiencing that, and then it kind of took a shift. I remember this one part where it was like the craziest part, and it was for probably what.
And I don't mean to stop it, but like that's one of the things that I learned is like you're already it. There's nothing you have to do in order to be it, because you're it already. You don't have to really smoke DMT. You don't have to do psychedelics to be it. You don't have to do anything to be it, because you're already it. You're just playing the part that you decide to play when you playing it, but you're already it. Everybody is it. Even the ones we call NPCs, even the people we say are asleep, they're it too. I'm sorry to say, but everything and everybody is it.
felt to me like 2 or 3 minutes, and it seemed like I was like in a railroad and or something, like some sort of railroad underground, and like my mind just kept telling me I'm smart. Like it was like reminding me that I'm intelligent at all times.
Explain it to you.
So for me, I am a good student. I made all A's. I had a 29 on my ACT, and
I'm gonna explain it to you real fast. Okay. The aspect of God, because I think people get it misconstrued when the DMT or the psychedelics tell you you're God. You can call it ego. Ego is a part of everybody. Everybody has an ego. I don't know why people try to use that I don't know why people use the ego thing to make it seem like it's like everybody got, your ego said that when you said that. You use your ego to say that. But when you say you're God, right? Who you think is giving you the belief that you got? Who you think is accepting the things that you accept to believe? Who you think is coming up with the ideas that you have, the ideas that you decide to believe? So when a person decides to become or be in a religion, this is something that they decided to do. That's how come you got so many religions, because you can decide which religion to be in. You're making these decisions. Nobody else is making these decisions for you. Sometimes we're given the influence to make decisions, but we're still the one we're the yes man going, oh yeah, like how come you think I can fall in love with her and she can be the most beautiful thing to me, and you can fall in love with a totally different girl that is her over there and she can be the most beautiful thing to you, because you're God without knowing the type of God that you are, not the God of that probably made all this system on that level. That's a whole different level, but still your belief and your understanding is something that you're creating, that you're making. You're saying, okay, I believe that, the ego is, them telling you God. Oh, I believe that psychedelics is good for people. Oh, I believe psychedelics is not good for people. Like, the person is you making these decisions. It's just you. Like, you're making all these different decisions, saying what is and what ain't. You feel me? And everybody is doing that. Every single individual is making these decisions their self, whether they decide to take the idea of somebody else and believe it or they don't. It's still that individual making that decision. Whether you decide to believe me or not, that's you making that decision going, I believe that. That's you making the decision going, I don't believe that. You feel me? Like, you're making those decisions. God is not here going, like, God is God, like, because God is already you. God is already, you're the fractal. You're that small human fractal of what this thing is. That's why you can make these decisions. Now, people think when you say you're God, they think you say that you're the God that's running everything. Well, how am I not running everything in my mind? If I can go, I can make Donald Trump a good person or a bad person. I can play either side. I can make this thing good. I can make it bad. I can believe that. I cannot believe it. I can believe in Bigfoot or not believe in Bigfoot. I can believe in aliens, not believe in aliens. I can become a police officer. I can become a 7-Eleven worker. I can become a Walmart worker. I can become a dad. And like, you got people out here that's even starting to change their own perspective on whether they are male or female. Who are making those decisions? The individual is. There's the individual is choosing the decisions. That's godly attire right there, because you are gods. You can call it how's it trickery? If it's trickery, that means you're tricking your own self, because you're saying that it's trickery. Like, you're the one making these decisions. I'm not making the decisions for you. Everything that you did in your life, you made the decisions for yourself. Even if somebody gave you the decision and said, this is the best way to go, hey, this is the God to believe in, you still chose that God and said that God was the ruler of everything. You know why you chose that God? Because you seen within that God something that's within yourself. That's how come we can have all these different gods and all these different religions that people follow. Like, if you can't see that, like, I don't know what to say, bro. It's just like, if you can't see that, it's like, come on now. free will, I would decide to never have a bad thought. You can decide that too. You can decide that too. That's one thing that you learn over time also. Because you can decide not to have a bad thought because you're the one who's saying the thought is bad in the first place. I just said this. I just said this. So soon as a bad thought pop into your mind, who said it was bad? Did you say it was bad, or did the thought say it was bad? Who decided that the thought was bad? Was it you or was it the thought? Like, you feel me? Like, if you get what I'm saying, it's like, who's making these decisions? Are you making these decisions, or something else is making these decisions for you? Yeah, we are the only individualized awareness that exists. Like, it's weird, bro. And you know, I always said, bro, it's a beautiful ugly. It's a hard pill to swallow. But then, you know, like a person saying that they're God and having that understanding. When Jesus did it, it was okay, right? When Jesus did it, it was okay. That was okay for one man to do it, to understand it and see it and go, dang, and then spread it, and they take it and they made it into Christianity, and they made it into a religion. Now, it's okay for this religion over here to believe this religion, and then this religion over here to believe this religion, and have two different insights on religion and make God and put God into something that's out there when God is still inside you, because the inside you is the one that is accepting of that God that is out there. That's how come we have the choice to choose what God we want to follow. Jesus said, is it written in your law that ye are gods? That's something that Jesus said. Jesus said that himself. You feel me? Like, that's something that was already written. Like, I'm not making it up as I go, you know, that, like, we can see it. You feel me? Like, come on now. Jesus had the power to heal people. Jesus had the power to walk on water. Jesus had all these different powers, and Jesus turned around and told everybody, these miraculous acts that you think I'm doing, you can do also, and you can do better. Why would he say something like that? Because he already knew that everybody, like, oh, it was one DMT experience that I didn't put on that I was going to put on, where the guy, you know, seen that he was Jesus. Like, that's a whole nother aspect of it that you begin to see. Because you got to understand, we start playing the game, right? You know, the ego, like you said, the ego, right? The ego will look at somebody else's understanding and go, oh, okay, that's their understanding. That understanding right there is saying that my understanding is wrong. So now I'm under attack. So now that I'm under attack, I feel like threatened. My belief system feels threatened. Like, I don't feel threatened by my belief system. You feel me? Like, I can talk about it and I can say, okay, this is what I believe and this is how I look at it. It don't feel threatened. Like, if somebody say, okay, that's not right. Okay, I understand that you would say that, or you would believe that, or, you know, because everybody is making their own thing. Everybody has their own thing to believe. And the thing that you believe, if you think that that's the way life, like me, if I run around and I think this is the way that life should be, the way that I think it is, then I would be wrong also. Because life is happening in many different ways. And like he just said, everything is God. So we don't have to point God out and really put God anywhere, because everything is God. Everything's been God. That's the only reason things can exist, because everything is God. He said, oh, well, yeah. Hey, that's crazy, because I was watching it last night, guy Fled. I was watching the other Jesus story on Netflix. You know, I be watching all that stuff just like, you know, because that's what we was raised on. You feel me? But I just have a different understanding of it now. You know, I don't look at it in the way of, I don't look at it like I used to no more. Like, I'm going, these are things that we supposed to learn about ourselves. You see, because when Jesus got sacrificed, everybody don't think that they're a sacrifice, but every person walking the planet is sacrificing themselves to something and somebody. and somebody, whether you sacrificing yourself for your kids, for your parents, for your friends, for something and somebody, we're all doing it. And we all will carry our own cross. Like all these stories is just talking about us, just like when we said about the DMT and the mushroom experiences. All these experiences is you experiencing yourself and what's happening within you and what's going on with you in you. It's like, you know, the stories seem different than yours, but I don't think any story is different than any other story. You feel me? It might seem like that, but it's not, because we all experience the same feelings about everything. Jesus was apocalyptic Jew and said the end would happen while his disciples were alive. He's been wrong for 2,000 years. But I don't like to speak on, I don't like to get into that with Jesus, to tell the truth, because it's more of, we know the sacred mushroom and the cross. We know the truth. We already know that it never happened. It never existed. Okay, but we can read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, right? And like, you know, you do your history on that, you find out that that's not even a real thing. That's something somebody else wrote. But what is it? It's somebody that wrote all these things. It's somebody that wrote your favorite songs. But that didn't mean that you didn't understand that song that this person wrote, because some of the things that the song was saying was going on within you or was happening within your life. And like all these different stories that we follow and we watch, we understand because we did certain things or experienced these certain things within these stories in our own way in life. So I don't look at it as even as all these stories as being, oh, this person, and you know, now you got to follow this person. I look at all these stories existing within myself. They don't exist outside of myself. They exist within myself, so they're a part of me. That's how I look at all the stories now, which is weird. And, you know, it's cringy to me, but that's just the way I look at it, because within every story, even your story, I can see part of my story going on. And that's just the way I look at it now. But I don't look at it as, you know, okay, this person is doing this, so I got to follow this person. No. I can't put no other person above myself no more. It's one thing I learned over time. But let's get back into the story, because see, yeah, that's the cool thing about it, though, Preston. Whatever you believe is true. You know why? You're gonna make it true. Even if it's not true, you're gonna make it true. You feel me? Well, like, that's why people believe in aliens, Bigfoot. We got Chupacabra. We got aliens. We got Bigfoot. We got all these different things, bro. Because no matter what it is, you can make it up, and then your mind will create it. Almost like the psychedelic experience of us seeing all these entities. Your mind can create entities. Your mind can create topas. And, you know, people are using these topas nowadays, like the imaginary friend. You feel me? Like, we see homeless people that created a whole nother person that they're walking down the street talking to, that we can't see, but they're having conversations with this person. Like, literally, like, I stopped a homeless dude and he's having a whole conversation with somebody that's not even right there that I can't see. I stopped the homeless dude. I started talking to him and he started talking to me. And then, like, a minute goes by and he go, hey man, where you going? Hey, don't leave me. And he go like, I gotta go. And he takes off and it wasn't nobody there. So if our minds is that powerful to where we can create entities that other people can't see, just think how many of us is doing this. So we can create anything and make anything, and it'll be like, as long as we believe it, that's all that matters. Like, we can bring our dead ancestors back and put them in front of us, and nobody else will be able to see them but us. Like, we are that powerful. Like, our minds or whatever this thing up here is just that powerful, bro. Realities exist in the multiverse. Yeah, they all exist, and it's crazy because it's like almost like they're layered on top of each other, and they're all existing at one time. Like it make me think of the body and how the body, you know, has the lungs, and it has the heart, and it has the stomach, and it has the intestines, it has the liver. It got all these different parts to it. And they're all working together to create the body. I'm talking about the hands, the eyes, the nose, the mouth. We're talking about a multitude of entities or beings existing within this thing called the body to make this body right here what it is. All these different things coming together to make it breathe, to make it be able to hold its breath, to make the heart beat, to make the blood flow through the what's name, like all these different things. And that's the same thing like I be feeling about reality. Like there's many different ones. They're all stacked on top of each other, but we have access to this one because we can't see ourselves. We weren't trained from the jump. Like when we come into reality, we train ourselves to be in this reality. We don't train ourselves to be in the other realities. We train ourselves that the other realities are outside of us. What you believe is going to be lived. Oh yeah, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep, bro. Because that was something that you start to learn too. Because like when Exile, remember when Exile was here yesterday and we were talking, because when I started to train for Trans Dev, I was telling Exile about it. And then Exile signed up, but he signed up in a different state. And like they called me within 3 days because I'm here in California, but I guess it's set up different out there. And when he signed up, they didn't call him, so he got another job. And then he ended up meeting somebody that came into his other job that was talking about the company that we were talking about that I work for that he signed up for. And that's what I was telling what's name last night. Like sometimes you got to get out and just take whatever job. Because once you take that job, it's going to open you for those other things to come to you. But if you kind of, you can sit back and take your time and sit back, that's cool too. But then once you get over yourself, you got to get out there. That's the only way you're going to be able to run into people and run into different entities out there that's doing things. And then you'll start having these conversations and then it'll open shit up for you. And it's like, that's what happened. He ran into a guy that worked for the company that he signed up for that didn't call him yet. And then he got all the information on it right there from somebody that work out there. And it's like crazy because, I do this now all the time to where like we'll be talking right here. We'll have conversations on the live and then I'll go back and, I'll be talking to my girl or something. And then the conversations and the things we were talking about will just pop up on my TV and the TV will start talking about it. Or like Gadfield fled to say something and then I'll pop on YouTube and the video will pop up saying the same thing he just said to me. And it's like, what the fuck, bro? You feel me? This shit is trippy. But your mind, once your mind sees something, it's something that activates that make it aware of that thing now. Like how I said, like when you go to the car lot and you're looking for a car and they show you all these different cars and they show you one car you never seen before and you going, man, I never seen one of these. This is trippy. Like this is new to me. Like even like the Ford Flex, when I went and got my Ford Flex, it was like the first time I seen Ford Flexes. I'm like going, this thing is huge. This thing is nice. Like I never seen one of these. And as soon as I drove off the lot with it, I start seeing them everywhere. Oh, there go one right there. Oh, there go one right there. Because you made yourself aware of the thing now. And like that's what we do. Once we make ourselves aware of certain things and our awareness kicks in, now we can see that that thing has always been around us. Like it's always been in our life. It's always been just right there. We just never were aware of it. We weren't paying attention to it. So it was like it was almost like in our blind sight or some shit. It's like weird. I've tripped at least 500 times, never saw an entity, but have never looked. Dang, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. But I understand. Because yeah, bro. You never seen an entity? Dang. We see. That's why we got to do another meetup, man, so we can all go in and see some entities.
I probably do have a pretty good IQ. I don't know what it actually is, but I would assume,
let's finish this video.
Compared to average, I'm probably above on the intellect level. So it was just reminding me that, and it was really cool, like, seeing my brain, go through all this shit so fast. Like, it's just, like, coming at you. And so I was there for a while, and it was kind of, like, that part was a little unbearable. To be honest, I wasn't quite sure where I was, what was going on. But then,
he said, wait, you said your teenage kid sees a lady ghost at the house? Oh, my God, bro. That's fascinating right there in itself. In itself, like I never could understand that neither. Like, when your kids see things, like my first daughter had passed away, and my daughter never knew, like my next daughter, who was given the same name of my daughter that passed away. And I think I was telling her about it one time, and it was like, yeah, you would have had a sister right now. She'd have been like, she'd have been older than your oldest brother. So right now she'd have been like 26. And I'm like, yeah, she'd have been like, in her 20s, or she'd have been 20 years old, because it was a minute ago, like 6 years ago. And then I'm telling her about her, and then the next day she come to me and she said, my sister visited me in the dream. And I'm like, what? She said, yeah, she visited me in the dream, and she had some horses, and she had my favorite horse. It was this white horse. She had my favorite horse, and we went horseback riding. And then it was like every day, like she was having these dreams of meeting her sister in her dreams. And I'm like going, what the hell? Like, yeah, like, man, some of these things, we don't understand. I don't understand, but I can't say it's not true, because this is my daughter telling me this at like 10 years old. And I'm just like, kind of fascinated, like, whoa, now, your sister is visiting you in your dreams. She never visited me. And if she did, I probably wouldn't even noticed her, because she was a baby when she passed. So it was like the craziest thing, bro. But what's up, Big Chill? If you don't see her, you should be able to smell her.
It's a drug, so take that for how you want to take it. But it really did do me a lot of good, and it was nothing like acid, like.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, no, I can't. Like, I didn't want.
Rectangular activating system. The rectangular activating system. Wow. Hey, yeah, that was a good one right there that he had. Wait, let me see these other ones I had. Cause I had a couple more. Dang, why is it not working? Yeah, it's true. Oh, okay. Here go one. We're gonna watch this last one, and then we can just talk after that. Let's just get into this last one real fast, because I was supposed to be going over these.
We go back to his apartment to play some darts, and out of nowhere, he's like, do you want to trip out? I'm like, trip out on what? He's like, DMT. I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. So we sit down on the couch, and he has a bowl, like, with some weed in there, and he sprinkles the DMT on top of it, and he says, take 3 hits, 3 inhales, like 6, together, all together, like without breaking it. And you're gonna hold it in deep, and then as long as you can, then blow it out.
Baker?
I said, okay. So I'm up first. So I think he actually smoked it right after me too. But anyway, so I take my hits, and it's like, as soon as the smoke entered my lungs, as soon as I blew out the smoke, like already the whole environment turned into like pixels or fractals. Like I was immediately tripping balls, like within a matter of seconds. While we were smoking it, he had the TV on, and there was a Netflix show, and it's like some show about Lucifer or some shit. And the character in the show, as I looked over, he was out of the TV. And when it comes to psychedelics, I'm not a person who hallucinates, like really rarely ever at all. It's like it's everything that's going on inside my mind, which is very intense. And
man, finish that story. He said, I looked at he was outside the TV.
What I'm thinking about, but as far as like actually seeing a different entity or actually full-blown hallucinating, that usually doesn't happen to me. Just my reality is kind of altered. Things are different, like shapes are different, like, you know, but nothing's really like, I'm not like truly hallucinating. It's only happened a few times. So I'm looking over at the TV, and he is fully standing there, this being, fucking Lucifer, Satan from the TV show. He's standing there. He's in a black suit, red tie, his eyes are black as night, and he's talking, and I don't know what the fuck he's saying, but it's like it's in some kind of elvish, demonic fucking language.
No, don't
It's
change
got a
the
deep
channel.
voice.
Let it happen.
And I'm not like a person who's like scared of darkness and shit like that. I embrace that everything is one, so I'm not like polarized by the duality of man, like evil and good. I consider them all together, so it didn't freak me out. I actually was like, the first thing I thought when I saw this guy standing there in full, like in living color outside the TV, I was just like, this is fucking badass. Like, what the fuck? And either I took another hit or I closed my eyes and went into it. And when I went into it, you know, I was just thrown. I was launched. I was fucking transported to another world. Now, I've heard DMT stories where they go into different portals and dimensions. This is what happened to me, okay? I closed my eyes at some point and I just got launched, and it's like I ran into a force. And the best way I can describe it is just like, it was like light, all right? It was fucking, I was encountering a being. And something you need to understand with going on in my life during that time, I was full-blown atheist. I had been a Christian before, like a fundamentalist Christian. I finally got myself out of that cult, and I just came to understand, like, look, there's no God. Like, we don't know what's going on, and call it a higher power, the universe, whatever. We're just here, and unless you show me some evidence of that, like, I'm not just gonna believe in some shit just to fucking believe in it to make myself feel better, right? I want to accept reality as it is. So I'm really like, you know, I don't have any kind of belief that something's watching over us, that there's fucking anything going on, right? And by the definition, I'm an atheist. I lack a belief in a God. Like, I don't worship any gods. I'm just, you know, we're here and the universe is enough for me. So having said that, like, I am literally being, I am in like communion or conversation with a being that is outside of myself, that is greater than me. And the best way I can describe it is, it was just pure love. Like, I mean, the most intense feeling of love you can imagine. And I was just like blown away. And this thing, right, is just telling me, like, you are real, man. Like, you are fucking real. You're not fake. You're not bullshit. Like, everything about you is fucking true. And like, damn, dude, it was just, it was exactly what the fuck I needed to hear. And I was just like, I don't know, I was just so fucking blown away as like by what I was feeling. And I was like telling this being, like, oh my God, like, you are fucking, like, I was saying the same thing to it. I was like, you are fucking badass, like, you are fucking amazing. And it was just reciprocating that to me. You know, it was like this mutual, like, love and respect, and that was just all that it fucking was. So I fucking, and this went on for a while. Like, this is on, like, we smoke DMT, it's like 10 to 15 minutes, but that shit could feel like fucking 10 years in there. Like, it's fucking, it's out of this world,
yeah,
right?
They did that to me.
And yeah, like I said, the best way I can describe that is just, I was just fucking launched, and me and this fucking thing just collided with each other, right? And it was just like this, oh my God, and the things it was telling me, just, you know, it was uplifting, it was encouraging, and it was, all this happens, right? I slowly open my eyes to come out of it, right? I'm still feeling kind of the effects, and I'm looking at this buddy of mine, and really it's one of these guys who's just kind of a party buddy at the time. I was in a, like, not the greatest place in my life, going through a shitty divorce, and you know, here I am in this apartment smoking DMT after a night of kind of partying. And anyway, this guy looks at me, and I'm in tears. I'm fucking, tears are coming down my face, and I'm like, dude, I fucking can't thank you enough for what you just fucking did for me, dude. And I'm just, I was just fucking, in that moment, I was like, no amount of money could be worth, like, no amount of money could buy that. Like, that's, you can't place a value on that experience. Like, you can't buy a mansion, a fucking car. You can't fuck the baddest bitch or man or whoever the fuck you're like. You can't have an experience like that's like you can put a value on as far
That's
as
how I
like,
used to cuss like a sailor.
you know, it's like
Sailor
this
in the
Ferrari
beginning.
cost $200,000. Okay, like that was so enlightening, so special, so deep, so real, like falling in love. Like you can't put a price on it. You can't pay for that. You know what I mean? It's something that can only be given to you. It's just like, dude, fucking thank you, man. You have no.
Hey, it's wild because like you only can get that to yourself, bro. That understanding right there is something that's already happening within you. You only can give it to yourself. And DMT is that way that you give it to yourself. Like it's weird, bro. It's weird to even say.
No fucking idea what you just did for me. And I was like, I was just blown away. And he, on the other hand, he had a fucking bad trip. It was telling him to get his life together. He was seeing fucking demons and shit. And it probably had a lot to do with that TV being on, with that fucking show on. I'm sure it, you know, there's all kinds of shit going on.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to see what
you
they
know,
come
I
up to
don't know
with that.
if I'm speaking to a being or if it's if it's deep in my subconscious mind. I don't fucking know. All I know was it was one of the most fucking amazing experiences of my life, and I've had some mountaintop peak experiences on psychedelics, mainly in the form of mushrooms.
Exactly.
But, yeah, so he's having this bad experience, and he's like, dude, fuck, that was not good for me. And he really went through some shit. I don't know what the fuck he saw in there, but it was telling him like, you're fucked up, get your life together. And I can kind of understand why, knowing him.
I don't know. It's kind of weird, bro. Because like I always look at it, I think I look at it now as like if it's happening within you, then whatever the thing is, it's connected to you. Like it's almost like if your feelings, if your love was an entity and you could meet it, if your hate was an entity, if your frustration, like, okay, what's the movie called, bro, where the little girl and they show the little entities in her head playing all these little aspects of her feelings. And then, you know, in part two, what's that movie called? And then in part two, it spread it wider because she got older, and then all these other feelings came in, but they were their own entities. There were their own entities taking part in controlling her. Like each one was its own entity, but it was playing parts inside of her to take control of her and have her do certain things. Inside Out. Like Inside Out shows it the best. It's showing how all these different feelings that we have, ideas, emotions, and all these different things, they are their own entities. And each one, love exists within everybody. And you see when it go to the love in her, it's the blue blue looking lady. But then on Inside Out, then when it goes to the mom, it's the same blue lady, but it's made in the form of the mom. And each one it's the same entity, but it's made in the form of the person that it's existing within. Like, that's the weird part. So it's like these different feelings, ideas, and all these things that exist within all of us, we never met the entities of these things. We only know what it feels like to have the feeling of love. You feel me? But we never met the entity of love, or the entity of hurt, the entity of pain, the entity of a needle pen sticking in your finger. You feel me? To me, I think all these are entities in they self, because we made them into that over time. Over time, we made them into that, and that's what they became, to where they started to play a part in our life, to where, you know, the entity of love said, I don't like the hate thing. I don't like the bad things. I want to push all those out. And that entity beginning to take over to just try to show love and be lovingful and only look for love. You feel me? When everything is going on. So each one of these, like even a person that walks around hating everybody and being like that type of hater, does the same thing. That entity takes over and it begins to just hate in every which way it can. It doesn't matter. Every aspect, every which way it can, it just begins to hate. So it's like, you know, That's kind of what I felt like. I don't, I'm not saying that it's to say it all, oh, this is true. I'm saying a lot of times when I had my experiences and I met certain entities, they were the height of that right there. Like I met myself, I met the smart me and had a conversation with that smart me, that entity right there, that all the negativity and all the bullshit cut out, and like it was almost like it was like almost Terrence McKenna talking, but in my voice, and like I'm just listening to this guy talk in my voice, but he sounds like Terrence McKenna. His words is Terrence McKenna words, almost Ram Doss words, but it's just me. You feel me? Because it's weird, like it's weird. That's what I was saying earlier about, okay, even the way I sound right here, the way I sound to myself, my voice, the way how deep it is, the way I sound to myself is not the same way I sound to you, which is not the same way I sound to my kids, which is not the same way I sound to that person over there. It's like weird, bro. Like it's weird. Like once once you start kind of looking into this thing called life, it's like the weirdest things. Yes, we give them power. Yeah, that's what I feel like. That's what I feel like. But like even like when I seen Toth on mushrooms, and and Toth was looking at me like how the hell did you get here? What are you doing here? And it's like, he's telling me this is a height of awareness that a lot of people do not reach. So you being here is like kind of fascinating because it's probably been thousands of years before somebody like one of your kind popped in here. So it's like almost like everybody have each one of these entities living within us. That's how come when you said something about Joe Rogan and what he was saying about the jesters, like how come we all can see jesters? How come we all can see Pramantis entities? How come we all can see the entity that we see as God? How come we all can see the Blue Lady? How come we all can see Mother Ayahuasca? How come we all can see these different entities existing within, because they exist within every person? It's on us to bring them out and be able to, activate them and be able to see them. But they exist within every person, every being that got a mind, that got a brain that's going here. And some of them, it's wild because some of these entities, like, we created, like we made. Like I like how we talk like topas. We talked about topas a long time ago. If you ain't never looked up a topa, go look up a topa and what people are doing with these topas that they're making. See, we had topas created that was already made before we got here. So when we were giving them, we just accepted them and we said those things were true, even though we couldn't see them. You feel me? We was already given a version of what that thing was. And once we was given that version and we believed it, that thing started to exist within us also. So like evil itself, like once you're given and told evil is something, it begins to exist within you. But if you go and you watch nature and you watch the birds, having too many birds in the nest and kicking one of the babies out the nest and different things like that, like we go as nature, but it's the same thing happening with us. We just turned it into good and bad. We turned all these things into good and bad. Like that's one of the things that we did, and that became its own entity. And it began to exist within all of us to where I can pass the things that I think are bad on to you, and then you can pass them on. Or, a lot of people, with racism can believe in racism and be racist and not say it all, but be talking about racism so much, be so racist at home that they pass it to their kids. And now when their kids go to school, their kids is being racist at school. You feel me? Like we pass these certain beliefs and these certain understandings and ideas, we pass them on over and over and over and over again, bro. And it's like the weirdest thing. So like my God can be different than yours. And my God, I got passed on to me by my parents, and who got passed on by their grandparents, and their parents, and so on. And that's how it even overseas it's the same thing. The religions and the different things that they were passed down to them by the ones who were before them that had that belief. Now, we'll believe in this God right here, but we'll say that God over there is not real, when all the gods are actually the same God. because God is only going to come to you in the form that you need God to come to you in. God is going to play the form that you decide God to be. Like if you decide God to be Buddha, if you decide him to be Allah, if you decide God to be Jesus, what is God going to do? God is going to be that and going to show you all the different reasons of why that God is God, or, you know, or whatever. It's like fucking weird as shit, bro. It's weird. Ain't got no God. I broke free, took 45 years. Oh, wow, bro. Oh, wow. You know what's weird though, Gatfield? Because I don't like to talk about it because, you know, like I said, when we talk about things like that, like a lot of people, you know, they get infringed upon because they already have that system of belief. Like I said, it was already instilled in them. So it's like there's got to be a God. Like, who made this? Who created this? Who did this? Who did that? So it's got to be a God, which I feel like I don't like want to call that thing God, because God is like the man-made word, and it got parameters on it to where this God only helps certain people. This God only takes care of certain people. Like, you know, that's why when people say, man, you know, God bless you and different things like that, I don't want God to bless me. You feel me? Like the people who need blessings is the ones who just died in that earthquake, they families. The people that need blessings is the ones that's out there living on the street. So why would God take time out to bless me and give me a new car when there's people out there ain't even got a place to live or ain't got nothing to eat, starving to death? So why would God take the time? But God gonna bless me with something, and then he gonna leave them to starve. So I think that's what made me kind of back away from that and go, wait, something different is going on that everybody's not paying attention to, because we didn't took on what we thought, what we were told to take on. This is what we were given. You're giving it power just like racism. I guess, bro. I guess, but I don't know. I'm just, you know, I'm just another one going through the loopholes like the ones that came before me. That's it. And you know, I ain't gonna lie, like the way we all look at things for our own sanity, or for ourselves, for our own sanity. But this one right here, okay, I gotta play this one, the one where the guy said where he went to heaven. I want to see what happened because I didn't get a chance to watch this, so we're gonna dive into this.
Should start you thinking, and it also exists in thousands of plants.
Okay, I don't want to hear
Contains
that.
what's called an MAOI inhibitor.
Okay, he's gonna explain.
And someone introduced me to a shaman who conducted ceremonies. This goes back a number of years now. So I had no intention to take DMT, but I went to this person's house and I was introduced and we had a really great conversation. He was a phenomenal person. I might talk about him separately. I was so thankful and grateful that he gave me that experience, and he's recently passed. But a wonderful guy, and so we had a great conversation, and we're talking about upcoming ceremony, and that I was thinking of sitting with him. And I had asked him, based on my own curiosity, you know, how about taking DMT alone in the other forms, and how different is that? And I was curious, and he said, well, I have some. Do you want to take it? So I wasn't prepared for this, and you know, DMT is not something that you typically would take. Some people with even a lot of preparation, but not being prepared at all, it was definitely unnerving. But when you have the opportunity and you're a seeker like that, and you have the curiosity that I do, of course I said, okay, yes.
Let's do it.
And of course, the whole situation was, you know, very safe. Got some helicopters here. And he had this really cool setup where he had this special room, and he would give you headphones, and then you would lay in this chair, lay down almost flat, and he had this speaker that he would put by your feet so that you could have this music running through you during the experience. And so here's how one way you can take DMT. You can vape it now, but the old school way, and I think for a more potent journey experience,
what's up, Ripple Force?
You kind of smoke it like out of a pipe. You need assistance for that, because while you're taking it, you can't really hold the pipe in and a flame source for obvious reasons.
We can do it.
So
We do it. I do
sit
it.
down, we get ready, and you really try to take 2 to 3 hits. It's very harsh.
Gotta hold
So
it.
if you hadn't been a smoker, it can be really challenging because you have to get enough on board to be able to have what's been called the breakthrough experience. So you take a long hit
Quantum entanglement.
and hold it as long as you can, and then
Intriguing.
you let it go and then try to go for another one. And if you could get to a third one, if you're still able to do that, that's an option for people. So that's what I did. And I started to feel it coming on very strong. And when I got to the third hit, the shaman told me, okay,
Oh,
hold it as long as you can, lean back. And I felt it coming on really strongly. And after the third hit, I leaned back and I could count to 3, 2, 1, and I was gone. It was the first outer body experience, something that I could describe as that I've ever had, including, my previous ayahuasca journey. DMT on its own is really, really potent.
hella potent.
Nothing dangerous about it, but physically, but where it takes you
How about that?
it can be very hard to process by the conscious mind. So after the count of 3, I am propelled into a space that is completely unrecognizable, and there are the most vibrant colors flowing together like lava. And then I find myself in a sort of an open space, and I think to myself that I'm scared. And at that moment, I felt a presence talk to
I'm
me
spooked.
without words. And it's what other
Telepathically, it just go
people
from mind to mind.
describe as telepathic communication. And they said to me, they created essentially a room that had the appearance and feeling of walls around it, and then asked me the question, is that better? And because it had a structure that I was used to, I immediately felt that, yeah, that's more comfortable for me.
Remember what I just said? I said, this life thing comes to you in whichever way you need it to come to make you more comfortable or make you feel better. Because that's the way we're putting it. It's like weird as hell, bro.
And it's picture like you're in a room and you have walls around you, except when I turned to the right like this, it was the vacuum of space. And immediately I had a fear response because it was so overwhelming. But right after that, I went to another space, and I can only describe it as heaven. It was the most blissful feeling I have ever experienced in my life. And what was most shocking about it was the familiarity. I immediately knew that this is where I come from. And I was essentially talking to myself and confused that I knew what this
Yeah.
place was. In my human mind, I had no
Say I
idea.
am.
The only way I can describe it is that I was home. And it's the feeling like a baby in its mother's arms. It is the
I'm telling you, I ain't watched this video. I didn't watch this video. I had prepared it, but that's crazy. I told you we'd be saying stuff, and then we'll say the same thing. It felt like like a baby and like seeing his mom seeing the baby for the first time when the baby is born. When they give you the baby, give her the baby, and the way she be looking at it and the way she hold it, like it's so precious, and that's what the fucking feel like.
The most blissful, safe, and happiest feeling
That's
you could
great.
ever even imagine. It was complete ecstasy and safety. And the knowing that this is where I come from was incomparable to any experience I've ever had. And I was so elated by what was happening that I said to myself, but whoever was listening was responding. I said, oh my God, this is unbelievable. I have to tell people about this. And this voice said to me, no, you can't tell anybody about this. This is just for you to experience. And immediately upon hearing that, I just relaxed. And it was kind of a short ride. And I remember coming back into the room. And I remember before laying down, the shaman told me, just lay back and close your eyes. But when I came back into the room, I was seeing what was in the room, and I told myself, oh, I should close my eyes. But when I said that, I realized that my eyes were closed. And I was in the room, and I was looking at the shaman and my friend who had brought me to his house. And I was looking at them. It was sort of chromatic. It wasn't color, but I was in the room. I could see around the room, and I could see them standing over me. And I was back. Afterwards, when I immediately sat up, I tried to talk, and both of them told me, just relax. There's such an urge to speak and relay the experience, but they wanted me to compose myself, relax, breathe, and then talk about it. And the first thing when I was ready, I asked them, how long was I gone? Because I had no idea about the sense of time. And they said it was only about 5 to 7 minutes. And that's sort of the typical length of a DMT journey. And it can be longer based on certain things, but in general, it's a very short-lived, short-acting experience. And I remember when we were discussing it and I was leaving, I just reached out and I gave him a huge hug and I said, I'm so grateful for what you have just done for me. I appreciate it so much. And I understood at that moment that being his life's work, that there could be nothing more rewarding than that to do for people.
Yeah, to kind of show people themselves. He said, Shifty, you need a drug for feeling happiest feeling. I mean, it is trippy, but I mean that's what you need anyway. When that's why we create them dopamines. That's why we eat ice cream, we eat candy, we drink sodas. Same to get the same. We have sex to get these same feelings, bro. We do all these other things, but that's the one thing that you begin to see on psychedelics is you create your own happiness. But we are gonna make we're gonna take whatever we want in life. And we're going to say, okay, this is what makes me happy. And the things that make you happy is not going to always be the same as the things that make me happy. And, that's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You feel me? That's why we got drugs. We got all these things. That's why we got pain medicine. We got all these different things out there. We got different cars. We got toys. We got games. We got, you feel me? Because all these things create that dopamine, that good release in order to create that happiness. DMT, it's like a businessman's trip. I can take a quick journey across the multiverse and then go to work 4 hours later. Yeah, like Piano Key used to do. Remember? Piano Key would take a break from work, go smoke DMT, explain the experience, and be like, all right, y'all, I got to go back in to work. You feel me? That's what it's like. It's trippy because it seemed like you be gone for so long, but it's a beautiful thing. It's like, Like it's wild, right? Because it's almost like going to the theme park. Okay, sometimes that's what it's like. Like people like they do happiness. They go spend money and they go to Knott's Berry Farm, Six Flags, Magic Mountain, SeaWorld. It's it's about the same thing. You feel me? Except it be more intense. It'd be more intense, bro. I don't know. I think life is beautiful, bro. Life is beautiful, and life is just a beautiful ugly. And like your experiences in life, like he said, like I need to go and tell people about this, and the DMT is like, nah, you don't need to go tell nobody. This was for you. And that's what I always felt like. Even when I was sharing my experiences, I was sharing like there's experiences I had that I never shared, that I just kept to myself because it was so enlightened and it was so beautiful. Yeah, the cosmic theme park, but it's like almost your life experience. Your life experience is for you. Like everything you experience in life is like literally for you. But you know why we share these things? We share these things for each other, to give each other hope, to make each other feel good about things. Like that's why we share, or we share the bad things to make you watch out for, nails in the tire. You feel me? We share things in order to help each other, as we going through life, to make you watch out for certain things. Or, if I share my happiness with you, hopefully it'll make you happy. And like me making you happy makes me feel happy. You feel me? And then hopefully you can take that happiness and you can share it with somebody that will make them happy. But we get into that point in time in life to where, it's not all about happiness, because most of the stuff that you see when you just pop in on YouTube or on the news just be some messed up stuff going on. And like that's what they showing, and like that's what we seeing, because it's crazy. Like once you reach your happiness, like me, like right now, like I'm at that point in life to where I'm happy no matter what happens, whether things is going good or whether things going bad. I'm happy. I'm like, once you get that pleasurable part in life and you begin to be that, then you're gonna really, that's when the test really gonna hit, to where people gonna be testing your happiness, because everybody's not happy all the time. And some people walking around, they mad they here, they mad they gotta go to work, they mad that they gotta make you a hamburger, they mad that they gotta drive you to the store, they mad that, like, you just got people that's like that. But then, we like yourself, the me right now, I have confidence that in certain people you can change that, because like once you see the interim of that person that exists, that is part of you, there's things that you can say to brighten anybody's day. You feel me? I don't know about mass murders and stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know, but it's certain things that we can do just by being ourselves. Like I do this for us. You feel me? I come in here and I do all these lives, and I talk about DMT, or I talk about these things for us, like for our sanity, for my sanity, for your sanity. And like it's kind of trippy because dang, it's been 8 years. It's literally been 8 years, and like I'm glad that my channel didn't get like hella big to all like 200,000, a million subscribers, because then I would have changed. I would have changed on y'all asses. I wouldn't have knew none of y'all no more. You feel me? I wouldn't have knew nobody no more. I would have been one of them flashy type people. I'm kind of glad that it didn't happen like that, because now I can I can be more closer with my viewers. I don't have like so many people here to where I can't answer questions. I can't read what's going on. I can't know who SoCal is. I can't know who Gadfield is. I can't know who Ripple Force is, Big Chill. I wouldn't know everybody. So I'm like kind of glad. I'm kind of glad that it actually went the way that it went. I'm glad that it went this way right here, and that it's like this right now, because it make me more, I'm more in tune to us talking and and being friends, and and I don't have to make this like I don't do YouTube like everybody else just does YouTube. Like I don't have to make it all fancy all the time. And like I started to play that game and get into that game, and then I said, wait, hold on, bro, I don't, why? For what? For what? Like we sitting here, we sharing stories, you know, we talking, we doing all these things. I don't have to make it all fancy. I could just come in as my normal self, and then you know, I ain't like when people say I've changed, I see that I've changed, like in the way that I talk. I'm not cursing as much. You feel me? I see that I changed in certain ways, but I'm still the same. You see, I ain't no asshole. You know, I ain't trying to be all flamboyant. Like, you know, like, yeah, I did change a lot, which is crazy, bro. And it wasn't and I don't blame it on the psychedelics. I blame it on the ones that's here. You feel me? And being able to talk to everybody and meet people from all over the world. And the ones that were here that came in that shared their experiences. And, you know, I had time to talk to, and seeing that it didn't matter where we were or, you know, how far away we was. Big Chill is in Canada. We all the same entity. We all the same being. We all the same existing within this place right here. And like, you know, to me, it's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, but I'm gonna have to cut this video short though. I'm gonna have to cut this video short. This was a good talk, bro. You know, it's always fun. It's always fun. It's always fun. We still going? Okay, yeah, everything is still good. It's still good. Y'all didn't need to see all that, but no, it's still good. But yeah, this was a good one, and I thank y'all. And yeah, I'm probably be in Discord for a little bit. I'm gonna see what's going on in Discord, and then I'm gonna let this video be what it is, and then I think I'm gonna start up another live in a little bit. So give us a minute. Let me take